And we would like to welcome to the podcast our sponsor for the podcast. Roby, can you believe it? Evan Lutz from Hungry Harvest. Hello, Evan.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the podcast. I appreciate it.
So Evan, I want to talk about produce, and I feel like you know a lot about produce, being that you have been in the produce business now since you were in college, right? 2014 is your first I'm sure you ate vegetables before 2014, but that's your first foray into what you now are like 19,000 states and slinging produce everywhere?
Yeah, pretty much hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, I've always been fascinated by the produce industry and the kind of the healthy food in general. And my entire life, I've been interested in social entrepreneurship as well. And I wanted to always start a business that helped people and help make the world a better place, and something to do with food. And so I attended the University of Maryland back in 2014, and one of my classes, I actually had to start a social enterprise. And one of the ideas going around the class was this local farmer who had excess produce, surplus produce that he couldn't sell to his normal customers, retail clients, that is, because maybe the peppers were half red and half green instead of all red or all green. And some of the apples had some scarring on the outside, or some of the peas that he grew were just too many and the buyer canceled on him. And I thought it was ridiculous that all of this produce would otherwise go to waste. So I said, I have an idea. Why don't I try to sell that to college students? And so I set up just a little farm stand in the basement of a dorm, sold 5 pounds of produce for $5. I didn't know anything about what I was doing. I knew nothing about produce or sales or marketing or anything like that. I just figured it was a good idea to help, make this farmer some extra income and reduce food waste. First week, we had about 10 customers show up, and by about the 6-month mark, we had about 500 customers showing up every single week to buy produce that otherwise would go to waste. And to the untrained consumer's eye, they had no idea that this was produce that would otherwise go to waste. I told them the story of why it was recovered, and it was local, and everybody loved it. This is really before the idea of ugly produce came around back in 2013, 2014. So it's really kind of a new concept. And that really morphed into what we are today, Hungry Harvest, where we source produce that otherwise would go to waste from farms, wholesalers, packing houses up and down the East Coast. We deliver it in variety boxes, customizable variety boxes, to customers all across the East Coast, including Richmond in just a few weeks. And for every box we deliver to a customer, we also help people in need eat healthy. So we're trying to fight food waste by sourcing our produce sustainably and get people get produce to folks that want delivery and want groceries directly to their home, and also impact hunger on their fighting hunger side of things. So that's kind of the whole spiel of Hungry Harvest.
So if I wanted to, I don't know, as I see on your website, hungryharvest.net, that it's a produce rescue. So if I wanted to file an application to be a produce parent, like Adopt, Don't Shop, what do I do? Do I go on and click a couple buttons, or tell me what that looks like for me?
Yeah, we have a really simple sign-up process. It's super easy on hungryharvest.net. You can sign up in just a couple minutes, a couple of clicks. We have subscriptions for all different kinds of sizes of families. We have mini harvest, which is best for a person living by themselves, or maybe 1 to 2 people. We have all the way up to a super harvest that can feed really just an army of vegetarians for a week. So we also have organic harvests, and you can pick and choose what you want in each box. If you don't like zucchinis, you can eliminate those out. You can add more mushrooms if you'd like. And if you don't want to customize, you can always set what we have called a never list, where we have anything in the box that you don't like, we'll automatically sub it out for you. In addition to that,
eggplants, and you will send me no eggplants.
Right, exactly. You can just put eggplants on your profile and won't send you eggplants ever. That's exactly right.
I'm not averse to eggplant, but just in case people are. So that's hungryharvest.net, and I can just apply to be a produce parent. You'll accept me, and then you'll send me the size box I want.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Before we let you go, Tell us about your experience on national television real quick.
Oh, of course you went there, Scott. You want to hear about Shark Tank.
Yeah, Shark Tank was really exhilarating. You know, it was a lot of fun. We made a deal with Robert Herjavec, who's been a great partner over the years, and it's really terrific every time we get to interact and hear his business advice. He's a really terrific guy. The actual taping of the show was pretty exhilarating, to be honest. I was a nervous wreck before it. I practiced and practiced and practiced every single line I was going to say for 3 weeks. Literally watched every single episode of Shark Tank before that episode aired, and wrote down all the different questions, figured out what they're going to ask, and tried to memorize it as much as I could. And luckily, you know, I was able to, I think, do a pretty good job on the show, and we got double our investment of what we were asking for. I think I went in asking 5% for $50,000, and came out of the deal with 10% for $100,000. Which was really successful. And I guess one of the points of the show is not just to raise money, but it's also, it's kind of an infomercial for your product, right? You are the content. And so one of my main goals was make sure I didn't look like an idiot, which hopefully I succeeded in, as the Sharks are known to be brutal. Anything you say can and will be used against you in front of 8 million people. So, you know, luckily I think we did a pretty good job, and that was a lot of fun. And that was a few years ago.
So remind our listeners one more time how they can find you and when they can find you in Richmond.
Absolutely. Our first deliveries are October 8th. Make sure you sign up before then so you can get a delivery in the first week. If not, no big deal. You can sign up for weekly or bi-weekly deliveries, and you can sign up at hungryharvest.net.